My name is David Hinton. I'm the Center Director here at Vine Street Community Center. I've been the Center Director for the past 22 years, and welcome to Vine Street. I'd like to thank Mayor Wu and Commissioner Ojikutu for selecting Vine Street. Certainly would have been my first choice. Vine Street offers a large array of programs here, and I'd like to thank Dr. Ojikutu for selecting Vine Street to launch this program. It's definitely a special program for this community, and we will greatly benefit from this. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ojikutu, the Commissioner of the Boston Public Health Commission.
Thank you, David, for that warm welcome, and thank you for welcoming us to Vine Street. And thank you all for being here and for joining Mayor Wu and the Boston Public Health Commission this morning for this incredibly exciting announcement. I particularly want to acknowledge our partners here. So there's Dr. Wong and the Atrius Health Equity Foundation. There's the Boston Community Health Collaborative, which is co-chaired by Magnolia Contreras and Mary Ellen McIntyre. And we also have Miss Vivian Morris, who's a community member with the collaborative and a representative with the group. You're going to hear from all of them. I'm so happy that they're here, and you're going to hear from all of them as we launch this really exciting partnership. We're also really honored to have Dr. Michael Curry. And Michael is the president of the Mass League of Community Health Centers, as we probably all know, and co-founder of the groundbreaking statewide Health Equity Compact. So we'll hear from him also this morning. So I also want to acknowledge that there's several leaders here who I'm just thanking for their support. I think we have Shagun Idawu. Where's Shagun? Shagun is here. All right. And Shagun is the Chief of Economic Opportunity for the Mayor's Office. We also have Jose Masso, Chief of Human Services. And thank you, Jose, because he's one of the reasons why we're here at Vine Street. I also want to thank Lori Nelson, who's our Senior Advisor for Racial Justice. And several electeds have sent representatives, so we have representatives from Senator Warren's office and from Senator Markey's office, so thank you so much for being here. I also want to thank our former Commissioner of Public Health for the state, Monica Burrell. Where's Monica? And our Board of Health Commissioners, led by Dr. Sandro Galea and Guale Valdez from Mattapan Community Health Center, President and CEO. And of course, we have an incredibly important partner in our state, Executive Office of Health and Human Services. We have Senior Advisor Karen Sang, as well as Under Secretary Dr. Mahania here with us. Okay, so it certainly takes a village, and it wouldn't be a village without our community members and our friends who are also here in the room to join us. Thank you so much for your support. So where we stand and sit today is just steps away from the area in Boston with the lowest life expectancy. Last year, around this time, we reported that someone born in that area has an average life expectancy of 69 years of age. And that's compared to someone born in an area in the Back Bay, which is a really nice area, and they have a life expectancy that's 23 years higher, so 92 years of age. And I think we can all agree that there's a stark difference there, and it's a very concerning issue that we're dealing with. But beyond differences between our neighborhoods, we also have concerns regarding life expectancy citywide. So we recently analyzed some of our data, and I think it's important for us to realize that there is some good news. If you look at years of life lost by Boston residents as a result of the tragedy of COVID-19, we've actually regained those years as a city. And our life expectancy is now 82 years of age, which is rather high compared to the rest of the United States, and it's actually a little bit higher than it was back in 2019, pre-COVID. So this is good news, but we still have some bad news. We face concerning gaps in life expectancy by race, and these are persistent. This has been going on for decades, and they were exacerbated by COVID-19. When we talk about these numbers, life expectancy, and we talk about early death, they're not just data points. They're not just numbers. We're really talking about people. These are our neighbors who live in our communities, who are dying earlier than they should from heart disease, from diabetes, from drug overdoses, and from preventable cancers. And those are really the three most common causes of premature mortality in the city of Boston. Sometimes we ask ourselves, so why is this happening? Why is this a persistent problem? And oftentimes we look to the healthcare system and say, what's going wrong there? So what I would say is the root cause of these issues isn't within the walls of our healthcare system. It's not solely, I would say, located within the walls of our healthcare institutions. It's really about social determinants of health and issues like economic mobility, access to economic opportunity, wealth building, housing, affordable and nutritious food, all of the things that our residents should have access to. These are the factors that significantly contribute to health and wellness in Boston and beyond. So we know we have a problem. What are we going to do about it? Our goal, and certainly the goal of Mayor Wu, is that every Bostonian leads a long and healthy life. So we know that we need to do something more and probably something different. So today, I'm excited, incredibly actually excited, to announce the launch of the Live Long and Well Health Equity Agenda for the City of Boston. So this agenda outlines goals for a healthier Boston, and it describes our deep commitment to achieving those goals with a focus on those three areas. So diabetes and high blood pressure, looking at cardiometabolic diseases, drug overdoses, and preventable cancers. So those being the three most common causes of premature mortality. The agenda itself focuses in on partnerships and collaborations across our city, across city departments, with communities within the healthcare sector, outside of the healthcare sector, and it's about bringing in new funding sources, because I think that's what's key, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What we know is that if we want to create change, we need collective action. We need to bring current activities to scale, we need to bring in new funding, and we need to work collectively towards a common goal of closing the life expectancy gaps here in Boston. I think it's also important to note, particularly since we have the state here, that Live Long and Well is a Boston-specific agenda, but the state is also committed to this work through their Advancing Health Equity in Massachusetts, or AHEM initiative, and we're working in close partnership. So we're here this morning to announce the very first partnership outlined within the Live Long and Well agenda. And that partnership is with the city, with Boston Public Health Commission, with the Boston Community Health Collaborative, and with Atrius Health Equity Foundation. And this partnership is going to focus in on particularly heart disease and diabetes, so cardiometabolic disease. So let me tell you a little bit about our partners. The Boston Community Health Collaborative, it's a long-standing collaboration with the city and with the commission. It basically convenes Boston residents and community-based organizations with the health sector to do citywide needs assessments, to develop an improvement plan, and it's really critical that they are at the table because what they do is bring community voice to this work, and communities themselves need to be leading this work. Atrius Health Equity Foundation is a newer partner for the city, and we are absolutely thrilled that they will be committing $10 million to this effort to close life expectancy gaps in the city of Boston. So this investment will focus on increasing economic mobility and opportunity, which has a measurable and significant impact on the risks for heart disease and diabetes and overall life expectancy. And you'll hear more about that from Dr. Wan shortly. We are truly grateful to the foundation for their support and partnership, but I think we all have to have a reality check. We know that this amount of money is wonderful, but it isn't sufficient to address the gaps that are present in our city. So what we hope is that this investment will catalyze other partners, bring other people to the table to join us in ensuring that our residents live longer and healthier lives. So again, I want to thank Atrius Health Equity Foundation. I want to thank Dr. Wong for her leadership for this initial investment. I'm emphasizing initial. And thanking the collaborative for their partnership. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mayor Wu.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you so much to Dr. Ojikutu whose leadership and vision has steered the city through some of our toughest times now, and continues to set a national standard for not only how to put health and well-being at the center of every conversation, but to ensure that equity is always the focus. So thank you so much, Dr. Ojikutu, for you and your team and all that you do. I'm grateful to all of our community partners who are here. It's incredible to be in this powerhouse room with our health collaborative members and commissioners and partners at the city, state, federal level, and of course, community members who have been doing this work for a very, very long time. There perhaps may be no set of community members who has been more in it for longer than those at the Vine Community Center, so we're so happy. Thank you so much for hosting us, David, and to you and your entire team. I remember not too long ago, we were all here with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum dedicating this beautiful gym in memory of Terrence Clark, and this was pre-NBA champion. they were already here, and the place that they chose to go in community was right here in the heart of our city. And thanks to the space that you've created, so many of the leaders in important positions around Boston grew up right here as well. So we thank you for all that you do. I'm so thankful to Dr. Huang and the entire team at Atrius Health Equity Foundation. We are blown away by the opportunity that this presents to really demonstrate and have a proof of concept of how much we can do when we truly involve everyone and put the resources behind that. And I will just share a little bit about the folks who are speaking as well. Michael Curry, whose leadership locally and nationally puts Boston on the map and wears many, many hats, but is always focused on how we can make sure that Boston's healthcare system truly works for everyone. Thank you for being here. And before I was mayor, before I was a city councilor or a mom, before I knew anything about what I would do with my life, I was dragged to a bike ride by Miss Vivian Morris. I was interning at Boston Medical Center as a law student who was experiencing family mental health crisis of our own and felt drawn to see how I could maybe understand a little bit better the barriers that my mom had felt so much in her quest to just secure her health and well-being, and the many ways in which the social determinants around us had impacted that. And as I was at Boston Medical Center, inevitably I found my way to Miss Morris, who was in her day job making sure that food access was secure for all of the patients, but then somehow found a way to persuade me, someone who had not been on a bike in probably 20 years at that point, to join the Mattapan Food and Fitness Coalition's bike ride around Mattapan. And this was before she started the Mattapan Food Forest, before all of the other things that she has continued to do. So I know most of all, wherever Miss Morris is, I just strap on a helmet and get in line behind her. So thank you. We have one goal here in Boston, to make sure that our city is the best possible home for everyone, in every sense of that word. That means making Boston a place where every family, every generation is safe, healthy, and has access to the opportunities to thrive. Now, we're blessed in many ways. You all represent some of the world-class healthcare institutions and community partnerships that we have here. There's research and development, life-saving innovation, and the highest quality care. But everyone in this room knows that there's so much more to health than just knowing the services and the institutions exist somewhere in the city. We need to make sure that everyone has access. And there's so much more to health than the care that we receive when something is already going wrong. Some of the biggest influences on our health depend on the circumstances and surroundings that we're born into, grow up in, and grow old in. So I take a lot of lessons from the community organizations that I spend time in, and sometimes the most powerful messages have come from spending time in the community gardens that Boston has. because those dedicated neighbors know that if you want a garden, if you want a strong, healthy, vibrant community, it matters to have seeds and to water them, but they always say the most important condition is the soil and the conditions around which we are tilling the soil to make sure that everything else is possible. That's what today's announcement is about, and it's what our Live Long and Well health equity agenda is about. The City of Boston, the Boston Public Health Commission, the Boston Community Health Collaborative, and the Atrius Health Equity Foundation are teaming up to till the soil and plant the seeds for greater health equity across our neighborhoods, to pull up the roots beneath the disparities in health outcomes between our communities. That means addressing discrimination and disinvestment, the ripples of which impact everything from maternal health to public safety. It means boosting access to multilingual, trauma-informed, and culturally competent care, and creating better policies and protocols to prioritize patients as people and take a holistic approach to addressing families' needs. Because the difference between Back Bay and Roxbury isn't just distance. It's income, it's parks and green spaces, it's access to healthy, affordable food, education, and opportunity. And so our health equity agenda is designed to take these gaps on directly and to build on all the work that's already happening in community across every department in the city, every neighborhood across Boston, so that we can truly be a city where every family is flourishing. From the work that we're doing to stabilize housing across the city and make homes affordable for first-time home buyers and low-income families, to our commitment to making sure Boston Housing Authority communities are fossil fuel-free with healthy and clean air by 2030. From our Life Sciences Workforce Initiative, connecting 1,000 Boston residents to careers in the life sciences, to our commitment to provide a summer job to every Boston Public School student who wants one. Everything that we are doing, youth sports directory, replacing gas stoves with electric, it's all about improving the social, emotional, mental, and physical health of our residents across every neighborhood, to make Boston a healthy home for all of us. So I am honored to share more about, to introduce our next speaker to share more about how the Atrius Health Equity Foundation is helping us take an enormous step towards that goal. But I also realized I neglected to give one last shout out, which is an early, one day early happy birthday to Miss Toy Burton. So now, thank you so much to our new partner, one we're incredibly excited to celebrate and deepen the relationship with, Atrius Health Equity Foundation President, Dr. Ann Huang.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Mayor Wu, for those remarks. And I'm honored to be here today to celebrate the launch of this impactful initiative. I want to thank the mayor, the city of Boston, Dr. Ojikutu, and the Boston Public Health Commission, and the Boston Community Health Collaborative for their leadership and partnership. I also want to recognize the committed and powerful leadership of Michael Curry and Vivian Morris. It's such an honor to share the stage with you today. I also want to thank the foundation's board, who insisted from the get-go that this foundation would not do business as usual. When the foundation began its grant making just 1 year ago, the board pushed for us to make large, impactful investments and to commit to spend all of our assets in service of our mission to close the gap in life expectancy across communities in Eastern Massachusetts. Being able to live a long and healthy life shouldn't depend on your wallet or where you live. But right now, right here in Boston, as well as across our Commonwealth, it does. I've seen this in my own practice. The connection between health and wealth shows up in the worry and stress that prematurely ages people. It shows up when people are forced to make difficult decisions that prevent them from getting the care they need or taking care of themselves in order to keep their families fed and housed. It shows up in the neighborhood characteristics that research shows put people at higher risk for heart disease. We can and must start to change this. This is why the foundation is investing $10 million to improve life expectancy in Boston by addressing the economic factors that contribute to premature death from cardiometabolic disease. And we know we cannot do this alone. That's why we are working with the city, the Boston Public Health Commission, and the Boston Community Health Collaborative, so that our funding and our efforts can build on all the other work that is happening across the city to improve health. This is also why the foundation from the beginning has sought out input from community leaders who understand the challenges and the opportunities better than anyone. Honoring community wisdom is integral to our grant making. Our intent is for this collaboration to continue to center community leadership as we work together to develop the first funding opportunity under this initiative to be issued later this fall. We are excited to be supporting innovative, collaborative, and community-led solutions that can start to change the conditions and the structures so that people can live the healthiest lives possible. I look forward to our continued partnership and the impact that this collaboration will have on our goals of ensuring that all Bostonians can live long, meaningful, and healthy lives. And with that, I'm honored to introduce the next speaker, Vivian Morris, a longtime community health champion and part of the Boston Community Health Collaborative.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's still morning. Hi, I'm a longtime Boston resident. I came here to attend college. I married. I raised my family here. I worked in the healthcare field, and I've been a community activist my entire life. I've lived on the border of Mattapan and Hyde Park now for 35 years. And the health of my community has always been a central part of my life, a reason for building closer relationships with neighbors, and then collectively advocating for change. I've served as a community resident representative to the Boston Community Health Collaborative for over 5 years to support our citywide community health needs assessment and implementation plan. I'm very proud to be part of the Boston Community Health Collaborative as a broad effort to center the voices of the community members throughout the city to determine health needs and make plans for addressing those needs. My work in the Mattapan community inspired me to join the Boston Community Health Collaborative. Mattapan community members created the Mattapan Food and Fitness Coalition 18 years ago in order to work together to address key health issues in our community like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and others. Our community, which is over 90% people of color, has had among the highest rates of these health issues for decades. We work hard to address the root causes of health inequities we see in our communities by increasing access to healthy foods through community gardens, our farmers market, and creating opportunities for active living while advocating for the creation and maintenance of parks and green spaces. More recently, our neighbors came together to build the Edgewater Food Forest, an environmentally friendly green space that also produces healthy foods that are available to everyone. But more is needed. Through my work with the Boston Community Health Collaborative and Mattapan Food and Fitness Coalition, we have heard again and again from residents that we need to address the many inequities that impact our health, like racial discrimination, low wages, limited access to housing, the need for quality education, and much more. This health inequity also leads to that shorter life expectancy. We must address all these issues by working in partnership with community. We are so fortunate to have the support of health institutions, the City of Boston with Mayor Wu, and the Atreus Health Equity Foundation. I just want to say that collectively, we can do this. So I would now like to introduce Michael Curry, President and CEO of the Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers and representative of the Health Equity Compact. Thank you.
Good morning. Is it still morning? Good morning. As I was standing there listening to all of the presentations this morning, I was reminded of a speech I gave this week. Representative Daniel Hunt and Ann Zier invited me to speak to all the interns in the Massachusetts legislature. So a packed room of about 120 young people, high school, college, graduate students. No question will go on to do policy, they'll become elected officials, they'll be staff, they'll go on to do great work both here and across the country. And when I was talking about health equity, one of them said to me, she said, or asked the question, she said, what gives you hope? She said, because when you talk about all those statistics, the disparities, diabetes, heart disease, every form of cancer, life expectancy, as Dr. Ojikutu says, between right in this neighborhood and Back Bay, how do you wake up every morning and still have hope that something will change? And what came to my mind in answering her question, I said, it's right people, right place, right time. So for those in this room who are here right now who don't go to all the meetings like I go to, way too many meetings, and you often don't get a sense for who's in the room, I will tell you, standing here and looking out on the room, and of course the folks behind me, right people, right place, right time. If you walk into a room and Magnolia Contreras is there, you're in the right place with the right people. If Monica Burrell is in the room, you're with the right people at the right time. My good friend Kiame Mahania and the leadership team for EOHHS, right people, right place, right time. And of course, I get to represent community health centers. So when Gwale and Dr. Critchlow are here, you know that people aren't just doing this work because it's the right thing to do. They have a passion to deal with the inequities and a vision on actually solving for the disparities that some of us are overwhelmed by on a daily basis in our homes and our neighborhoods. So I want to say thank you to Vivian for having me. As was said of Michael Curry, I get to represent 52 community health centers across the state and over 22 health centers here in Boston. I'm also the proud co-founder, I should say, for the Health Equity Compact, a leader of now over 85 leaders of color who run organizations, lived experience, who prioritize health equity in Massachusetts. I'm proud to join Mayor Wu and our friends at the City of Boston, the Boston Public Health Commission, the Atreus Health Equity Foundation, and the Boston Community Health Collaborative at today's public event to announce the launch of Live Long and Well initiative. I would describe this $10 million investment from our good friends at the Atreus Health Equity Foundation as helping us to, if you're on my Facebook page, you'll see I posted recently, buy more time was my theme. Anybody remember that Justin Timberlake movie, In Time? The whole notion was that you run out of time at 17 and you gotta buy more time. The work that we do now is about buying more time for residents of Boston to achieve their optimal health, to raise their families, to buy a home, to build and transfer wealth, to contribute to their communities, and to enjoy life unburdened by disease. In 2021, I was asked to serve on a national task force convened by the Bipartisan Policy Center, and I joined public health officials, former governors, mayors, and others in a report entitled Public Health Forward, Modernizing the U.S. Public Health System. One of the recommendations we offered in the final report dealt with the critical importance of partnerships, incentivizing partnerships, investing in long-term relationship building with residents, and community-based organizations, and shared decision-making. This initiative adopts that recommendation and embraces the importance of strategic partnerships. As Congresswoman Presley often says, quote, "Those closest to the pain should be closest to the power." This funding opportunity aims to accomplish just that. I'm excited about this partnership as it is being designed to ensure that community members with lived experience are central to the decision-making process and will be intentionally targeted for this funding to address long-standing health inequities in the city of Boston. We need more public health leaders in Massachusetts and nationwide to engage in innovative partnerships just like this one, as this is the way to drive meaningful, sustainable, and transformational change. So I'm going to take a little personal liberty by acknowledging a staffer of the mayor's office, Lori Nelson. Her son's birthday is today as well, or this week. Malachi is today. Malachi, happy birthday, young man, young king. This work is for you. And I don't say that lightly. When I walk through these halls and I see these kids in these rooms, these young kids in the room, this is what we call fourth quarter work, which is how do we make sure that they can live healthy. So I say to you, Malachi, and all of the young people, kudos and credit to this significant announcement today. Thank you.
If not, thank you all so much for coming. We have refreshments. Thank you so much, BCYF Vine, for joining us, for hosting us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.